Everybody, can you hear me correctly? Can you hear me? Everybody, can you hear me correctly? Can you hear me? Everybody, can you hear me? Can you hear me now correctly? Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Welcome to the session. I'll be your host today and I'll be taking us through this session. As I share my screen again, I want you guys to tell me how are you feeling? How are you feeling now that you have joined us for this very powerful session? How are you all feeling? By a show of emojis in the chat or, reactions. How are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling today? Me, I am gorgeous. I'm feeling well. I'm feeling energized. I have all the energy it takes for this particular session. So welcome guys to our session, and today we will be talking about one great thing. Today we'll be talking about money, how to turn your creative skills into income. Petrovans, how many creatives do we have here? How many creatives do we have here? How many of us are ready to just learn how to turn your creativity into moolah, guys? We know we all here for the money. So how many of us? Let me see. Do we have any creatives in the space? Oh, I see. I see you all are saying, all of you, you're all ready to make the money, and so am I. So we will be learning how to turn our creative skills into income with a very good, powerful speaker, Kuda. So I'm excited. I'm excited for all of us, and well, I can't wait. So, what is it that you're gonna expect today? So, of course, Kuda will be our expert, and he will be sharing insights. He will be dropping bombshells. So, get your pen and paper ready, or whatever it is that you use to take notes. Get it ready, because we are about to be blessed with wisdom. Yeah. Number two, he's gonna tell us how he's applied his creative and tech skills into real world, and how that has enabled him to make money. And we are also going to hear from two of my favorite ALX learners, and they will tell us how has their journey been, from the start all the way till now. How has their journey been? And I'll also tell you about our creative tech programs, and how they can help you grow your career. And of course, after this, I'm going to tell you what is next, because you know what? We always have something coming up for you. We always have something. So here is our agenda. So what I want you to do right now is prepare your notes, prepare your minds. You are about to jump into some insights, into some great nuggets. So now is the time. Now is the time. All right. Now, before I go further, I am glad that you guys are here, and I have not told you who I am. So I am Mona Waheto. I am from Nairobi, Kenya, and of course, I'll be taking you through this journey, me and the speaker who you're going to meet shortly, guys. Patience, guys, shortly. So before we go further, I want you guys to tell me where you joining us from. And actually just add, how do you say hello in your country? So I see Ernest from Rwanda, Joshua from Nigeria. I see, okay, all right. Oh, you guys are, I see somebody from Uganda, Tanzania, Ghana, Malawi. Oh my God, Africa is well represented. How do you guys say hello in your country? So that once we start talking in your language, we can. In my country, we say habari yako or uhoro waku. So tell me, girls, how is it that you say hi in your country? And I'll try read a few. If I can. So somebody from Kenya is saying sasa. Somebody is saying ulashi. We say ulishani. I don't know where that is from, but it sounds nice. In Kenya, Rwanda, they say muraho. Guys, forgive how I pronounce that. Forgive me for my bad pronunciation, but oh well, we will get there. In Lesotho, they say lumelang. All right. So, all right, this is nice. It's nice. I think this is Malawi where they say muli bwanji. All right. Okay. I am learning. I am learning. I hope you're all learning from all this. And I'm very excited to hear all this from your country. Somebody from Kenya saying Jambo, habari yako. Um, I see from the Ghana one is a bit too difficult, so I'm not gonna say that. But I see we have Bola from Ivory Coast. So Africa is well represented. So you all welcome to this. And feel welcome. In Kenya, we say karibu, so feel welcome into this session. I don't want us to take so much time here because you know what, we could take a lot of time here greeting each other, but I want us to go into the meat of the session. So, like I said, I'll be your host today. My name is Mona from Nairobi, Kenya. And our speaker is Kuda. So I want to tell you who Kuda is. Before he comes on board, I want to tell you who Kuda is so that you know when I say it's time for you to grab your pen and paper, whatever is it that you used to write, to take notes, whatever is it that you use, it's about time that you take that out because he is about to drop nuggets. Like I said, guys, today we'll be talking about how to turn your creative skills into money. And all of us said we are ready. I saw that. You all said you're ready. And so then here is the person who's going to help us do that. So, Kuda, let me start with, I don't know, guys, can you give me drum rolls before I go further? Can you give me drum rolls? Because this guy has a career spanning from TV to marketing to creative strategy. And he did all this beginning with his bachelor comes in mass communication. That's where he began his journey. And for the past, not 2 years, not 3 years, not even 10 years, guys, all the way 16 years doing this. 16 years in digital marketing, 16 years of making campaigns, 16 years of creating very strong one-liners for campaigns, yeah, And that is not it. He also has 7 years, guys, not two, not five, 7 years of being a TV anchor on a national television. And he does not stop there. He also has been a YouTube creator. Yes, he's not been, get ready with me or fly with me to Malawi. It's been a political commentary channel with a very strong following. So when guys, I say we are about to get to know this very strong person, that's why I told you guys, get your books. He has 16 years of nuggets. So it's about time, guys, for you. Please give me claps, drum rolls in the channel. I see reaction, guys. I need to see drum rolls as we welcome Kuda Bangwe. Now, before he even comes now, he makes us look good. He makes ALX look good. He is our director of brand. Can I have his claps? Can I have his claps? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, well, I love this. Over to you, Kuda.
Thank you so much, Mona. That is, you don't get used to hearing yourself introduced, but you also don't get used to hearing yourself introduced so eloquently like you did. So thank you so much for that. And Moro to everybody. I am Zimbabwean, so I saw a couple Moros in there. Really say, how you doing? And I hope everyone is prepared to hopefully get some nuggets. I hope there are nuggets there. Yes, Mona has hyped it to the hypes of the hypes of the hypes. I hope I can meet the generous introduction that I received. So today I'm going to talk in two ways. I'm going to use my own story as a means of being able to help to understand practical steps or a journey to understand how to turn creative skills into income. And then I'm also going to talk about practical ways of thinking about this. So one part story, one part practical. I think those two would allow us to be able to have a holistic experience with us together. And in case you haven't picked up, I'm already starting to use some of the skills that I already have: public speaking, presentation, being able to be in front of a camera is so simple for me. But if talent alone was all that it took, then this presentation would have ended at hello. So how many of you have turned a skill into a skill someone is willing to pay for? How many of you have turned a skill into a skill someone is willing to pay for. Now, if you understand or hold the line of what this sentence is trying to communicate, then there's no need for you to be lost at any point in this presentation. The idea of turning skills into income is finding a way for someone to be willing to pay for the skills that you have. See, it's no use having a talent or a skill if someone doesn't want it. So how then do we turn your skills into something that someone is willing to pay for? The idea is about packaging. We're getting into it straight. There's no need to dance, right? Talent is something that you have. It's personal, it's private, it's admired, you get recognition for it. It's awesome. However, in order for it to become income, it has to be something that is packaged. It has to be visible. It has to be something someone can pay for it. It has to be a product. The difference is not talent, it is packaging, right? How you package your talent is how you turn it into an income. I can find so many people who have so many talents, but in order for me to invest in this one over that one, or to go in this direction over that direction, the implication is the package. And a small example that every single one of us in this room can relate to, because packaging is varied in its forms. But one way that all of us can practically think about this is your resume, right? The resume test is the smallest, most tangible example that every single one of us can look to as to the difference between a skill set and a package. So when you get your qualifications, when you get your course certificates, your degrees, etc., that is the skill that you now have. Some of us have God-given skills. Some of us have to work hard for our skills. Doesn't matter how you attain them. When you have them, it is awesome. But when now someone wants to pay for them, when you want to convince someone to part money, whether it's an audience, like I used to in YouTube, or it's an employer, or it's a project, etc. Now we're talking about the package. So the same qualification, same skills, same experience, two different resumes. The resume on the left, right, has a person who's positioned themselves as being able to execute tasks. The person on the right has gone beyond tasks and has now talked about outcomes. So the person on the right wants to be packaged as a person who delivers outcomes, whereas the person on the left wants to be packaged as someone who is able to execute at a high level. The same skill, same experience, different package, but only one will get the interview. And as a hiring manager, I will tell you that I'm always going to defer on the right, where someone is able to go beyond talking about the skill and is packaging themselves as to how this skill would apply in my business, right? Or in our business, if I've got my ALX hat on, and if we're going to attach that skill to a salary or to a payment or to whatever, it is the package that convinces me, because I have no practical example yet to really verify whether the skill is real or not. So your packaging is very, very important. And every one of us understands this, because most of us, if not all of us on this call, continually work on our own resume. So that should plant the seed. A skill is not an income unless it is packaged as such. And how you package it is your choice, but you must package it for the audience, for the person, for the price point that you're looking for, right? So now we come to the story, okay? Everyone is held in. I hope we're all locked into that place, right? We're locked into the idea of packaging. So everyone, as you are listening, as you are thinking, as you are writing down, the one core thing I want you to think about is, what does my package look like right now? And is it something that someone is willing to pay for? So we'll start with moment number one, the qualification behind the talent, right? So my degree, as you saw in my bio, is in film and TV and public relations. I graduated out of Australia, mate. And it was, it was a good time that I had there. And something that I want to share before I get deeper into this story is something that I'm hoping if someone in this room can relate to, or someone can appreciate or understand. Something that has often, I have stated several times, but has often been met with confusion in my life, is a lot of people don't believe that I actually failed high school, but I did. I failed high school. And when my parents tried their best to get me to like do my exams again and I failed them again, the one thing that they couldn't understand was, are we going to invest, or rather reconcile, is are we going to invest in this kid going to university and wasting our money, or do we need to run him through high school one more time? And what I said to them was, the way we learn in high school doesn't work for me, right? Trust me, please. Send me to the university of my choice to do the degree that I want. I will show you that this is the format I've been waiting for. And to prove it to my parents, I actually graduated top of my class, and I also graduated a full year faster than I was supposed to in my degree, because the format of how we learned in university was more suiting for me. So I'm just sharing that little bit to allow and encourage or inspire people to say that at different points in your journey, especially at ALX, where we really champion the idea of continual learning, you must always find the format and the practical way that for yourself you can receive these qualifications or can receive these things. It is important. Not everything is for everyone. But when you find your zone, I hope that you really lean into it. So that's just a small anecdote. But now let me continue with the story. So that taught me something creative talent alone never will. You do not need school to be in front of a camera. So the talent that I'm using right now, practically in this moment of speaking and being able to express myself eloquently, I did not learn in school. I did not get this talent in school. Funny enough, almost like an R&B singer, I got this talent from church. Inflate talent with qualification. Plenty of talented people can't package themselves. Plenty of people package brilliantly and have nothing behind it. You need both, and you need to know which one you're short on, right? So many people can sell themselves, can sell the product. I'm sure everyone has come across in life someone who like gets opportunities all the time. But when you think about talent, you're like, fam, I can take this dude. I can take this girl. She's not as bad. She's not as good as me. She can't design like me. She can't sing like me. She can't, do social media content like me. But how come she's got this influencer endorsement? How come she's got this opportunity? How come she keeps getting invited to this event? Her package is better than yours. His package is better than yours. They have invited people to themselves and have created something someone is willing to pay for. And while you are better talented than them, your package sucks. So we're not going to pay for it. So you must know your talent means nothing if no one wants it. And how you position yourself for people to want it is everything. So then we move on to the second moment. Same talent, two different packages. So I've always been a strong public speaker. And a friend of mine who ran a YouTube channel, right, styled in the format of the Daily Show, needed a presenter. So this is how I got into political commentary. It wasn't because I necessarily had a passion for politics, or I, really wanted to be able to change, the political mindset or the landscape of my country. Absolutely not. I'm African, right? And African governments are temperamental. Sometimes it's not always the smartest thing to be a political commentator, right? But I had the skill. I can talk. I can talk in front of whatever crowd you put me in. I can talk to birds. I can talk to walls. Just give me the subject, I will run. So he told me it's the same thing. You're just doing it on screen now. And I said, yes. So for those of you, if you go to YouTube, not right now, please. But if you go and you put POV with Kuda Mangwe, you'll find my YouTube channel. You'll find my YouTube stuff. And I haven't been on YouTube for years. So forgive me if the production doesn't excite you. But it was a proper production. I had studio, I had wardrobe, I had makeup, I had a salary. It was polished from day one, right? And at the same time, I started then doing my own thing on the side. Far less sophisticated, just me and a webcam in my bedroom, same talent, same person, completely different numbers, right? So what I used to do to kind of like build momentum. So my show was every Monday at 7 p.m. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm silent. So that wasn't working for me. So what I used to do then was do this, the schmancy, production, makeup, blah, blah, blah on the Monday. And then Tuesday, me in my bedroom, trying to be relatable, turning on the cam, doing my thing. And what I learned was the people who watch my bedroom live streams were the ones who really deeply followed me, small, loyal, personal. But the people who watched the studio production were responding to the package, bigger, but less personal. Same talent, different container, different audience entirely. The packaging is not decoration on top of the talent. It changes what the talent produces. So when I got courted by our national carrier, ZBC, Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, they did not come for the bedroom guy. In fact, the same bedroom dude who probably even had better shows in the bedroom because I could be more myself. I wasn't really going with the teleprompter. I wasn't sticking to time. I wasn't live camera action. I wasn't second guessing myself. It was just me speaking to you like I'm speaking to you now. That guy was awesome. But that dude, you can't put in front of the CEO of ZBC and say, hey, can we take a chance on giving this guy a show? The bedroom is not going to do that. But the presentation of my show showed that I was capable of handling a studio. I was capable of handling under pressure. I was capable of following a script. I was capable of being able to be nuanced in the way that I communicate around political issues and being able to navigate political sensitivity. And so I was then brought in as an anchor to do live television. And let me tell you guys something, there's nothing more stressful than live TV. And just a little practical tidbit for you guys. When you watch live TV, depending on the station and depending on how nervous your country is, there's always a 7 to 21 second delay. Just in case someone says something crazy and we need a cut production, just a little fun bit for you guys to know. But to be able to do live television means you need to think off the top of your head. You cannot go, You cannot have a step back. You have to be able to think in real time. You have to be able to adjust. You have to be able to be on point. And the package of the bedroom was not going to get me that gig. So that's something that you guys need to think about. Same person, different package, right? So what did that now do? And where am I now outside of just the ALX Africa? And guys, remember, I haven't even started talking about my digital marketing stuff, right? So, but I'm now about to blend it for you guys here. So the anchor role that feeds the pipeline. So today, I now hold a national anchor role on television, right? For me, that is pure PR now. It's not the goal. It is the pipeline, right? So I've been doing this for 7 years. I've interviewed every sitting minister you can think of. I've interviewed our president. I've interviewed all sorts of people, heads of state from different countries. I've interviewed all sorts of people. You will not find evidence of this, and I'm about to explain why. What it actually feeds is my consulting business, search engine reputation management for high net worth individuals with politically sensitive profiles. The door opens because of my television credibility. What I deliver once inside is built entirely by my digital skills. So now I was thinking about, how do I blend my two worlds? How do I create a package that people are willing to invest in for something as sensitive as their personal brand? To be given keys to someone's identity is something that is incredibly, incredibly sensitive. It is incredibly important. If you think about the power that you have, search engine reputation management means whenever you Google someone's name, what it is that you find, the order of how you find it is the work that goes into there. And for people who can be embroiled in scandals or embroiled in terrible things, they are constantly needing to have things, buried and hidden underneath and so on and so forth. So how do you package yourself to be able to get a steady stream of clients who require that level of sensitivity? You also need to present yourself as a person of extreme discretion. So there's a time when I used to put up every single thing that I used to do. If you go onto Instagram and you put my name, you will find a very dead Instagram page. Dead. I think the last time I posted there was 2020, who knows, 2020, 2022, maybe, right? And you might say to yourself, Akuda, you've been talking about package. You've been talking about package this whole time. Yes, the package for the client that I want needs to be someone who demonstrates discretion. If I'm a person who shows that if you give me something, I'm going to go buy a Bentley, go driving down the street, cruising, looking cool. That's the type of person who's going to spill my secrets. If I look like the type of person who gets excited with information and can't keep it to myself, that's also someone you can't trust. So because my image needs to instill trust, TV keeps my face, but my digital skills and my referrals and the strictly by invitation, strictly by introduction swag is what then gets me these clients who I then help through search engine reputation management, which I then have invested their trust, or rather garnered their trust, because I have 16 years of working in digital marketing. So I understand how to build a brand online from the ground up. And now look at how the whole package comes together. Kuda, how do you know how to do this? Well, look at my YouTube life. Kuda, how do you know how to do this? Well, look at my professional life. Kuda, how do you know how to do this? Well, look at my TV life. Look at the people who I talk to. Look at the subjects that I handle. Look at how I conduct myself. Look at how I put myself together. The package is what gives the confidence. No one cares if I can speak well. No one cares if I'm able to put together a strategy or very well using Claude or ChatGPT, whatever. That is not what people are buying. The talent is not what people are buying. It is the package that people are buying. And being skillful in knowing how to package yourself for the audience you're looking for is a whole masterclass in and of itself, which is what you're going to be finding out. You might be actually getting some pretty good skills about coming up shortly. Not from me, though, right? So the skill does not change. The container does, right? And what I mean by the container is where you apply your skills. So as a graphic designer, your talent is visual sense. Your package could be niche, portfolio, retainer clients, right? Or you could work in a big agency, or you could be, like you could be Chris Doe, right? For those of you who are graphic designers and you don't know Chris Doe, I don't know what kind of graphic designer you are. That is the father of modern graphic design, right? Chris has positioned himself as the person who leads on all the ideas. He's the one who taught so many graphic designers on how to charge for a logo, right? How to take the Nike swoosh, which was initially paid for $20 and a cup of coffee. Now that swoosh is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but the original designer didn't get that value. And so Chris now teaches people how to get that. And so when you now think about who hires Chris Doe, the question is, do you want his students or do you want the master? But now that he's the master and established himself as the master and his package is the master, think how much he will charge you for a consultation. Think how much he will charge you for a logo. Think how much he will charge you for his time. Whereas he could also be just a person who has a bunch of freelancer gigs. He has a number of his trusted clients. He's got some big ones. He's got some small ones. He helps out with his local church and so on and so forth. He could also have that swag. Or you could also be someone who is aiming to work in a company and you want to work in a company of this kind of size or an agency of this kind of size. The container can change. It is the package that you want people to buy or pay for that you need to think practically about. Same thing with a writer. Your talent is the voice, but your package, newsletter, ghostwriting, film, TV, all sorts of stuff. So think about, if I'm about to insult someone, please, I apologize, I don't. But let's think about Drake, right? Everyone knows the main accusation that goes around main man, Drizzy Drake, October's very own, that he doesn't write his own songs. But you've got to think about the OVO sweatshop, right, as they refer to it, and what it really means. There are people who have made real bank writing for that dude, but you don't even know their name, right? We think about some of the people who we really, really love. Please don't come for me when I say this, but Beyonce doesn't write music. Beyonce is an exceptional performer. She is an excellent, excellent, excellent entertainer, the top of the top, but she doesn't write her own songs. Now, what kind of package as a writer do you need to have to write a song for Beyonce? What kind of package as a writer do you need to write a song for Drake? What kind of package as a writer do you need to be part of a television production, a YouTube production, a social media content production? What kind of skills, what kind of package do you need to have someone of a certain caliber pay for your skills? This is the thinking that you need to have. And if you're picking up what I'm putting down, I have not spoken about your talent. I don't care if you're good at what you do. I don't care if you're not good at what you do. What I care is, can you convince me to pay for whatever it is you say you do? As a video editor, now I put video editor because in my degree of film, I majored in editing. So I'm actually an editor by thing, but editors are the real heroes. That's why I put us there, because we put the stories together. A director will film random clips, and for them to be put together in a 1.5 hour production, your editor has to be able to take the clip from day one and match it to the clip of day 478 and all the days in between, and then you get your Avengers. So that is now, what kind of package do you need to be an editor for Marvel? What kind of package do you need to be an editor for a very successful YouTuber in your market? There, so for people who don't know, like, there's clipping farms for all these podcasts and streamers that exist, right? So iShowSpeed probably hires a lot of people in India, right? It's a very, very affordable, feasible place. He hires a lot of people in India to just take his 24-hour stream or his hours-long stream, cut it up into clips, and the clips are what you discover more so on your reels, on your stories, on your shorts, right? And that skill of clipping things, you could actually be a person who organizes an organization of clippers in Africa that connects with live streamers around the world. It is what it is, all right? So I'm about to finish, but I don't know if I'm seeing Mona because she's trying to get me off stage. I'm sorry, Mona, if I'm taking too much time, but talent is a dime a dozen. I want to give a little bit of a story of another reality check when we're thinking about the value of talent versus packaging. So when I graduated in 2012, I graduated that day with 5,300 people across the state, right? So not just the people in my university, but it was people across the whole of Western Australia. Around that same time, there were people across the country who had also graduated. Then you have to take into consideration the generational graduation block of people 5 years down and 5 years up who are all still competing in the same pool. And now in 2026, in the age of AI, multiply that by the rest of the world, and you realize talent is cheap. Everybody's got talent, Baba. Everybody's got talent, but your packaging is what makes people want to pay for you versus the next person. On YouTube, I was competing with anyone who could point a camera at themselves and speak on politics. Talent was never the differentiator. It was my strategy. It was my packaging. It was the team I surrounded myself. It was the way I thought about extending my product lines. It was the way that I thought about extending my network. It was learning how to pivot on time, realizing that the juice of the YouTube package was going to run out. I needed to branch, and that's why I'm on TV, and all this other strategic stuff is how you are in the eternal pursuit of packaging your talent for an ever-changing audience at all times. Talent without strategy, ladies and gentlemen, is useless. Being a great presenter means nothing if no one knows who you are or how you got there. Branding is not separate from the work, it is the work, right? So if what I was telling you about branding cuts both ways, now this is me again coming back to talking about the high value clients that I work with, or rather the politically sensitive clients that I work with, right? My own brand has to speak to their protection. So my brand has to be discretion. My brand has to be unassuming. My brand has to be laid back and chilled, because that's the image that people pay for. They don't pay for my talent, they pay for my discretion. So my brand in my client base that I want is discretion. You'll never find a website where I talk about this stuff, because my clients don't value me talking about that stuff. You'll never find anywhere where I've said, this is who I work with, this is what who I saved from the doldrums or whatever. You'll never know that, because my package is your package, it would be totally different. But you've got to think about your package. So let's think about another way of thinking about talent and packaging. So athletes are doing the same thing. I know I often bring a lot of like American or global examples, but there's also a lot of African talent in athletes. It's particularly people like Obi Mikel, who used to play for Chelsea, who have now started getting into this podcast life. And you look at Pat McAfee and Gilbert Arenas. Pat McAfee just signed a $300 million, $100 million deal with ESPN. Gilbert Arenas is currently in the negotiation of another TV network deal. Great careers in sport, now built into podcasts, and media businesses. Their talent was never in podcasting, but we come because of who they are, but we stay because of the package, right? For if you want to think of another practical example of this that everyone can relate to just recently, I'm sure most of us enjoyed watching Zlatan, Thierry Henry on Fox during the World Cup, right? Those guys presented a package to us, the two of them, dynamic duo, right? They bounce off each other. They respect each other because they played at the highest level. They have different personalities. Zlatan is the straight shooter. Henri is the wise thinker. If those guys link up together to do a podcast, that thing is going to the moon. But it doesn't matter that they have got money to buy to spend on cameras and get a studio. They're millionaires. Of course, they can set up a production of high quality overnight. But if the package is off, it doesn't happen. But thanks to Fox, we kind of saw the package. Those guys do their thing. Fantastic. So your turn. And this is where I end. Right? Before you leave this session, a container is simply where does your skill show up and who pays for it there? Employment, freelance consulting, an audience. So for those of you who want to be content creators and influencers or whatever audience that you pick, audiences are a dime a dozen, right? Your own brand or service. Name the container your skill lives in right now. Right? Is it employment? Is it freelancing? Is it audience oriented? Is it your own brand or service? Then name one on this list that doesn't live in yet. That gap is your next move. So what that means is, practically speaking, if your container is largely dependent on yourself, by yourself, through yourself, perhaps maybe you need to think about collaborating or joining a bigger container. If the container is about a big one and you're sharing too much space, you're distributing your brand, you've diluted your output, perhaps maybe going into somewhere smaller by yourself is where it's at. But the most important thing I want you guys to think about right now is, what is my container right now? Where does my talent live? How do I execute my talent? And is my package ideal for growing in where I am? Or is it ideal for transitioning or pivoting to another container, whether bigger or smaller, depending on your strategy, right? So the last thing I would like to say for you guys is, anyone can have talent. Not anyone builds income from it, right? There are many talented, better people sitting on couches telling their nephews and nieces that they could have been. There's many people out there who look at other people, and they might be true. It's not always hate. They could be better talented than that person who they see all the time. You could even be better talented than people you were in cohorts with during ALX. Don't care. If your container and your package is not something I want to pay for, I'm not paying for it. So the difference is the container you choose and whether you choose it on purpose. Woo! Right, I'm going to stop sharing so that Mona can take over, and then I won't be in charge of the slides. But thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Kuda. Guys, I hope you all have taken notes. I have taken notes, and I think the biggest banger I have had to take away with this is that talent is cheap. Without strategy, then my talent is a bit useless. And well, that's a hard pill to swallow, especially for me, who my container is in freelancing. So then, guys, Many of us, many people can write. I like to write, so many people can write. And if I do not have a strategy, then, oh well, I am as good as whoever tells people in their couch, you know, I could have been. So thank you so much for that very huge wake-up call. Thank you so much, Kuda. All this love, this is for you. Nonetheless, before you go, we have a few questions. And I'm gonna, guys, if you do have any question, I have a few in the Q&A, so I'm gonna start with those. If you do have any, please, the Q&A. So there's one person who has asked Kuda, how do they package themselves as a certified speaker to generate income?
You gotta love the speakers. So speaking is a question of two things. Number one is your subject matter, all right? And the credibility you have around how well versed you are in your subject matter. So let's say your subject matter is AI, so it's very popular and everyone loves AI. How deep and how wide can you go with AI, right? So if you are only the person who's going to come and talk to us about ChatGPT and Claude and so on and so forth, and the LLM and the productivity of that in a very deep crowd, it's going to be pretty hard. But if you're talking about machine learning and the depth of it and the future of data centers and so on and so forth, you could also be very niche, right? And also go above a lot of people's heads. But you now think about, with your credibility and with your expertise, who's looking to pay for it. So you've got a lot of companies right now that are struggling to kind of think through how to introduce AI within their company. Legal problems that have surfaced, hallucinations that have come from different companies. Deloitte literally on 3 occasions had charged millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars for reports that produced hallucinations. Nonsense, right? So this is something that a lot of people are struggling to think through. But now, while you can say, oh, okay, cool, that's a gap, where's your credibility around that? Why should I listen to you, right? If you think of someone who everybody loves, Vusi Tembekwayo, great speaker, lovely, wonderful communicator, but we pay for his credibility in venture capitalism. We don't pay because he's so nice and his execution is great, but he's a proven venture capitalist. So he's got that niche. So think about your subject and think about how credible you are. And if your credibility is still very young, so I'll talk to you about how I used to be a public speaker, but I dropped it. And at the peak of my speaking, I was charging $600 for 15 minutes. And then I packed out. I started with high schools. High school kids can't talk to me about credibility. I don't know. It's not a company, it's not a corporate, but it started with high schools. And by the time I started doing conferences and corporates, I had built the resume of I've spoken at this place, at this place, at this place. I also used to pay to speak at conferences. So sometimes you can be invited. That's when you've reached the big leagues. I never reached that level. I had to pay to get into these places. But now it was, which conference is going to give me that credibility for the client who I'm still chasing? If I go speak at a wastewater management conference, the hell, what is that? Is that the place that I want to speak to? Or if I go and speak at this place? So building that strategy, mostly about credibility and subject matter. I could have done a whole masterclass on that, but I'll stop there.
Thank you so much, Kuda. I think we're going to do a masterclass on packaging because most of the questions are leaning towards that. I am doing X and X. How do I package X and X? Yeah. So we're going to do another masterclass, guys. We will bring Kuda to you guys again. I don't even ask for payment, but oh well, we will see.
It depends. Wait, it depends. So if you ask me in my director of brand package, then I'm doing it for free. If you ask me as an independent consultant, I will send you my invoice.
Guys, I'll not go as an independent consultant. So I have one question. It's an interesting one. This is from Jace, and he asked for a creative business that he's currently working on a structure and package for freelancing. So he asks, how can I differentiate myself towards premium clients? How can I package myself to appeal the premium in caps clients to get better leads?
How patient are you, boss? Because the day for you to command that audience is coming, but you have to walk practically towards it, right? So the package for a creative business is, of course, your portfolio, right? What have you actually done? Who have you done it for? And so that's what we pay for, right? The guys who've done, advertising for Coca-Cola and KFC, legit. For people who did something for their church or their mom's small little shop, it's nice. It's cool. So you've got to think in opportunity to execute at a level that justifies the future payment you're going to command. You're going to have to take some knocks. You're going to have to do some free stuff, some fun stuff, but you're chasing the proof. You're chasing the proof point. So you can think about it from a creative standpoint. Opportunities are actually very rare. So how many creative businesses have executed a Super Bowl ad? How many creative businesses have run a television campaign? How many creative businesses have gotten clients into this magazine, this TV station, this opportunity, and so on and so forth? It's very few. So the opportunities to show that you are able to do something, you're going to have to, as you're building that credibility, do some trade-offs. So what can you prove right now that your creative business can be trusted with? Can I trust you with my entire campaign for ALX? We operate in 9 different countries. If I came to you and said, hey, we're trying to introduce a new product, we've got a new data class that we're doing, we need it to be picked up and absorbed by learners aged 18 to 24 who've went to high school between this period and this period in Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia. Can you do that? To convince me, I need to look at what you have executed, because that will tell me. So if you don't come to me and you say, oh, I've done a couple posters for a concert for Davido. Okay, that's nice. Oh, I've done a few things here and there for this local thing. It's not it. You've got to chase the opportunities that will prove you can do the things premium clients will need from you. Build the opportunity credibility. You've got to chase the tick point, chase the proof point, because that's the package. Who have you done this for? Show me that you've done it. Prove to me. Chase the opportunities.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I said, most of the questions are how do I package myself? See, somebody say I'm a virtual assistant. How do I package myself? Somebody else, I am a Oracle developer. How do I package myself? So it's a lot to that. Maybe then, is there a general answer that we can do to
Yes,
cover all these questions?
100%. So, remember, we're talking about package, because how you package yourself is essentially you declaring who do you think you can convince to pay. So as a virtual assistant, you can work with all levels of, businesses, management, people. You can, position yourself as your PA to the stars, and you only want to do people who work in companies that command a staff of 500 or less, 500 or more, sorry. So you then have to say, do I have a package where I can show myself as an asset to someone who works in that space? So you start off by, who do you need to convince to pay? Who do you need to convince to pay? So who? Then what do those people need to know about you in order for them to pay? And then more importantly, where are these people that you need to convince to pay? Some people are found through networking, some people can do with online ads and so on and so forth. The journey that you create for how you're discovered, etc. That is all important. But really, well and truly, it starts with, who are you trying to convince to pay, and does your package match? And if you have to be honest with yourself, perhaps maybe you're still in the building state for that person or for that category of business or opportunity, and you're working your way towards it. But if you're not thinking like that, you won't work your way towards it. You'll just be doing random things because your focus is, I need to eat. And if you're doing anything because you need to eat, you will eat. But if you're doing something because you want to get that paycheck, you need to build towards it. So you've also got to move out of a subsistence mindset of I need to do this because I need to eat, and actually think about I'm building towards the convincing of that person who I'm going to charge 20,000 US dollars because I can. It's a journey. So start with who you need to convince and the package that they will buy.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kuda. So for anyone who had this question, I'm a virtual assistant. I am a musician. I am an artist. How do I pack it? Now you have seen that. We will bring Kuda for another intense masterclass on, how to package. But oh well. So I have two questions that I don't want. This one I'm gonna ask. So somebody asks about let me get to it. Just so somebody asked, how did you get into Australian university? And for which, okay, you say the program. And he asked, can we build such fancy talent with limited resources from Africa?
100% you can. So how I got to Australia, I applied. There's nothing special. It wasn't a scholarship, wasn't a special journey, wasn't anything. I applied, and I was blessed enough to be able to have parents who could afford it. That's the long and short. But this is what I need people to really appreciate. I was actually said in a funny story. So when you play sport, it's always the kid with the fancy kit who can't play. Right? So is the kid with the shiny boots, and they've got the latest boots, they've got the latest this. They look the part. They're rubbish. Why? Because talent is not about where you got it from. It's about how you are building it and how you're developing it, right? So some people can think that they need to go to Juilliard or fancy art schools. But if you think about how some of your favorite YouTube TikTokers are people who are just having fun in their bedrooms, that tells you everything you need to know about talent and where talent is nurtured and developed, right? Your packaging is important. What are the names of those kids in Tanzania who do the dancing in the street? I'm forgetting, but I'm sure you know the guy. One of them plays with the stick on his butt and stuff like that. What's the presentation of that? What are those kids doing? But they have packaged themselves well, even in a slum setting. They have packaged themselves for an audience that keeps clicking. So it's not about where you get your talent. It's about what you do with your talent, right? And packaging in steps. So yeah, we all want to be recognized at the global stage, but right now you're at the bottom. Build. I'm talking to you guys with 16 years of experience. If I was doing this presentation in 2010, I would be gaslighting all of you. But I've got the experience now. So it's not about where you do it, bro. It's about what you do with it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kuda. So I want to ask one for our learners. Most of our learners, they are beginners. Really, they are just starting out. What is the fastest way to attract money? What is the fastest way?
You've already asked the wrong question. You've already asked the wrong question. You already asked the wrong question. Guys, you do not get $20,000 for 20 minutes of speaking by asking what is the fastest route. That is your plan. You're in the wrong game, right? That's why I said if you want to eat, that's the question for how do I eat tomorrow? If you're saying how do I command the kind of money that I feel I deserve, you've got to build to that. So think about the moment that you sit in front of Mona, the millionaire, who is looking for a solution that your skill set provides. What are you going to say to her? I need to eat now. Okay, sure. Okay, what's the quickest route that we can do this business? No, it is what are you going to bring into that table? You've got to build to the moments. I'll give a very grand example that explains this. The expression, you work your whole life to be an overnight sensation, is an expression that says, at the time that you start to draw down on your value, is probably not when you deserve it. So Kevin Hart is 46 years old. The Rock is in his 50s. That is the highest paid comedian in the world and the highest paid actor in the world. Have you seen Soul Plane? Right? Have you seen the beginning of their careers? Have you seen Scorpion King? Have you seen Tooth Fairy? Nothing's Productions. They are building, right? They are showing themselves as being able to work with major studios. They're being able to show themselves as being able to carry the weight of a leading person. They're being able to show the business acumen of being able to leverage their personal social media following to bring credibility to a production. It built to the highest paid. It didn't start at the bottom. Go to their IMDb's, follow their careers from where they started. You'll be surprised. Sometimes there were extras in adverts before they were the people who you call out in random sessions in Africa where they don't even know this is happening. If you're looking for fast, you've already beaten yourself.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. One last question, guys. I promise you guys, this is the last one because of time. So somebody asked, how did you break through to get more clients while your brand was silent? Because I've also seen somebody else ask, he is in public relation and offering services, but it's difficult for them to get clients. How did you break?
So there's an expression that says success is when opportunity meets preparation, right? We all know this one. Literally, that is what it is. So it's, if anyone tells you that, they woke up and they knew exactly where they want to go, maybe one or two people was true, but you kind of move in the direction of where these opportunities can come. So if you think about the story I told you, right? I started on YouTube, and then YouTube is what I sold myself for television. And now when I'm in television, I'm continually in interface with the clients that I want, right? So I'm meeting minister after minister after minister after this person after this person after this person, right? And I'm always selling myself, selling myself, selling myself. I had one client who took a chance on me, did the greatest job I possibly could, and I've been in the referral game ever since. So if you are moving in the space where your client, your ideal client will come, and you are prepared for when the opportunity lands, you cannot afford to miss when it comes because they are few and far. You cannot afford to miss, but it is coming, right? And part of the challenge of listening to that is it doesn't feel practical, right? It feels a little bit like magic. Like, wait, did this just manifest? I hate that word, by the way. Did it just appear out of nowhere? No, it didn't. You were moving in the space where you want to be discovered, and you were prepared for the opportunity when it came. Move in the space, and when the opportunity comes, you cannot drop it. Kill it. So it took me about YouTube to TV to this. So okay, that's the wrong journey. TV to the first opportunity, 2 years. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you want to hear that, but I said it already. If I was talking to you in 2010, I'm gaslighting you. I'm talking to you, and in 2 years is my journey. You could be 2 months, right? You could also be 5 years. 2 years is my journey, but it was 2 years. Moving in the space, trying this opportunity, no one is feeling it. Trying this opportunity, no one's feeling it. Well, one person who took a chance on me, never let go. I've been writing ever since.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that was the best thing to end with. Yeah, Thank you so much, Kuda, for taking your time, sharing your insights, and giving us all this knowledge. Oh God. It has been such a wake-up call, even for me and for everybody. I can see people saying, it's been a wake-up call. So thank you very much for sharing your insight and sharing your wisdom. And well, we'll call you again. We could
Anytime.
listen to you all day, talk to us and tell us all this. We could listen to you all day. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kuda. And
Appreciate
guys,
you.
for any question that we have not answered, we'll try and see if Kuda can answer before we send out the final email. So thank you so much. So I want us to move to another bit of our session. where we hear from our learners. Now, we have heard from the expert. We have had, because I saw somebody asking about, what programs can we do and all these things. So I want us to hear from two of our learners who have been with us in this ALX journey, and I want them to tell us about their story. Kuda's story has been very inspiring now. I want you to be inspired by somebody who has done our courses and heard about us. So, do we have Rana and Loic with us? I see we have. So, I want to start with Rana. She is a Sudanese from Egypt. Now, staying in Egypt, and she has done amazing work supporting women beyond silence. Rana, do we have you?
Yes, I'm right here. Thank you so much for the introduction, Mona. And thank you, Koda, actually. During all the wonderful things you have said, I've decided to repackage my speech today and I've rewritten everything. So I hope that this one at least, falls a bit better. Well, as Mona said, I am the program support co-lead in Women Beyond Silence, which is a Sudanese initiative for refugees here in Egypt. And well, I didn't get there because I was there. This actually all happened after being in ALX. And being in ALX means to me is repackaging yourself, in Coda's words, if I'm quoting correctly. I didn't get inspired to join ALX. It wasn't like a path revealed to me in a dream or anything. Like most of this people in the room, I would assume that I was desperate. I'm not sure if you are, but it was. As you know what's happening in Sudan, post-war displacement is a snowball of disappointment. One after other, you just wake up one day with chains on every limb, and it just is. Life is what it is. So I joined hoping for a better future with ALX and stayed because without even realizing it, ALX started changing me from my core. My journey here was not a straight line, and I wanted to be honest about my journey because I feel like it matters. I graduated the VA program going on my phone, and then when I got to the SE program, everything that I did, even though I did 10-hour shift, 1 hour commute and 1 hour commute back, I slept less than 4 hours. I went to a cyber cafe to code. It wasn't enough. I failed and I kept failing. And then I gave up. But ALX did not give up on me. So by the time I finally saved enough for a device, the program was not there. And I gave up and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do anything anymore. But the ALX ads kept coming. I'm not sure if you guys came here because of the VA program or if you got here because someone told you about it or it was just an ad. You're here for a reason and stay. Whoever is thinking about joining a program, join now. And well, because I didn't click on it for so long, I did eventually. That was like the breakthrough. I finally gave in to the grief and anger of being narrow-minded that nothing was possible. I am stuck here forever. I went to the hub and I walked in with my head down and the tears at the edge of my eyes and I was waiting for a rejection. But it was the biggest blessing until today. And you remember or you will learn about our chair values. Courage, humility, adventure, initiative, and resilience. I thought I lost everything and I hadn't. I thought I had no chance and I did. And I thought even if I had hope, I couldn't aim for the moon. But now, do hard things have been permanently tattooed at the back of my brain at this point. Every single week of ALX and every single day I spent in the hub was a huge, huge leap forward towards the person that I am today. I still remember my moonshot post on Circle, and one day when I get there, I will definitely print it out with the date and like have it framed and hung somewhere. The thing, it wasn't about the courses that changed me, it was the community. People who tutor each other, guide each other, show up each other. You start trusting yourself more just being in that environment. And today, I am the program and support co-lead in Women Beyond Silence, which happened after joining ALX. I volunteer and train with ALX Ultra, which is a community for the Luminites here in Egypt. We do an event for other ALXers as well. I was recognized by the Forbes Middle East Youth Council. And finally, I am applying for scholarships to try and get a uni degree. So thank you so much, Koda, for speaking about Australia. Maybe it's the time to go to the, land down under. None of this exists without the version of me that did not click on that ad, that did not have that little hope of trusting ALX with holding my hand. So please, whatever dream that you have, the biggest dream that you have, the one you thought unachievable, the one you thought could never happen because of where you are, because of how much you have, because of how much you don't have, hold on to it. And with ALX, it will happen. Not because ALX does it for you, but it gives you the tool and guidance for your true self to get you there. And that is my story. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Reina, for sharing with us and for, and for not giving up on you and keeping it here, So if anyone is feeling, is it it? Is it it? Reina has told you. Reina has told you the version of her that existed before she clicked that link and the version of her that exists now after she clicked that link. It could be your chance today, could be your chance. So I want us to hear from one more. I know time is running, but I want to hear from one more. And this one here is a teacher assistant already at ALU, getting the big titles already. So, like, over to you.
Thank you, Mona. So my name is Loic, I'm from Rwanda, and this is my story. As in, before I start, as Kuda was sharing his speech and the experience, I was so happy that his story is somehow connected with mine. So I still remember it was a normal Thursday. The date was 14th of November, the day our national results were to be released. I was so excited and seeing things that you've been working for so long. And yeah, as many other high school scholars, you could think that would be a foundation of everything in your future, either having a good school, going into universities like LU and any others. So then when the clock ticked 12:30, a friend called and asked if I've already seen my marks. And I was like, no, I haven't seen, but I'm going to check. And when I checked, my expectation didn't match. I was so disappointed because I failed one subject and yeah, failed to reach another goal in the two other goals of my section. So I was so worried about what I'm going to explain to my parents and who else invested in my education academically and any other aspects. So instead of being or keeping in that disappointment, um, I chose to build, as Kuda said. I started with ALX, but with the mentorship of my brother and my dad. I wasn't sure if that was the best choice, but I chose to. I started with virtual assistant, and that's where we learned some of professional skills, Google Spaces, and every other thing, because we didn't learn that in our high school. Then after, I joined Pathway as well. But during Pathway, I also joined another Adventist university as a backup choice. Yeah, I just wanted to not make the same mistake as I did before. So Then after, because of many courses at the time, I failed my cohort of pathway. So that was the first challenge I've ever met during my courses. Then I passed over to the next cohort. They put me in the other cohort of cohort 3. But when we reached to the point of applying, we applied to many universities, also getting many rejections. I applied to LU this time, and then I got an admission. Uh, I wasn't sure if the admission I got really I deserved it, but yeah, I did it. So in April this year, I applied as a teacher assistant just to check for the internship, and then finally I got an internship, and then yeah, that was really amazing. I would tell any other students here who wanna join ALX to really come dreaming, and yeah, if they feel like everything is over, this is not the time. You can do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Loic, for sharing your story and telling us that you did hard things and you continue to do hard things up until now. You're still doing hard things, and this is super impressive. So thank you so much, Loic and Rena, for sharing your stories. And if you're there, really just asking yourself, is this really worth it? Or can I do this? Now you've heard from people who have come in, they have taken on the hard things, they are doing it, and they're not stopping. They are not stopping. Loic is a teacher assistant. Reina is aiming to do a whole application to another university, guys. So don't stop it now. And if you're wondering, where you can see all of our programs, what is in store for you, I want to speak to creatives. So somebody who wants to be what Kuda has just told us about making money as a creative. We do have two particular programs. We do have content creation and we do have graphic design. Maybe that could be the start of your journey. Maybe that could be the start where you start creating your talent, and then strategy. Remember, guys, talent without strategy is nothing. So that could be you. And if you are, interested to know more about ALX program, I do have this QR code on the screen. You can scan that QR code, register for any. I saw somebody asking about a question around where can they get the courses, or where can they start. Now here is where you start. Scan this QR code or get a link. Yes, we already do have a link that has been dropped in the chat. Go to that link, fill out that form, and you will be joining us on this other side, the inside side, where we're already learning skills and we're about to make them into money. See somebody asking about music production. When is it coming back? Stay tuned, Benjamin. Stay tuned. It's not there right now, but it is coming back. It is coming back. So, guys, you thought that was the end of it, yeah? I know. Guess what? You are, oh God, I don't want to, I don't want to tell you before. But this was just one of the sessions that we have for you. We do have another upcoming session where you're gonna collect insights, nuggets, wisdom dispensed generously. And I am gonna call on Jay to tell us more about this. Jay, are you with us? Yes, I can see you, Jay.
I am here already. Thank you so much, Mona. What an incredible masterclass this has been. I am so grateful to be in this room, hearing all these stories, Kuda sharing his story, and also the learner stories as well. So today I come bearing exciting announcement. If you ever wondered how powerful stories are created or how your own experience can become stories that inspire others, and then this is for you. We're excited to bring you an exclusive masterclass featuring Akin Omotoso, one of Africa's most respected filmmakers and storytellers. He'll be sharing lessons from his journey, what he learned from his years in the creative industry, and how authentic stories can open doors to create lasting impact. This session isn't just for aspiring filmmakers or creative. It's for anyone who wants to learn how to communicate their story in a way that truly connects with everyone and with all the people who are going to be interested in hearing your story. So here's the exciting part. This masterclass is exclusive to ALX learners and alumni. Access will be available through hashtag #IamTheStory_ALX campaign. If you've already shared your story, then you're one step closer. If you haven't, there's still time. I'm going to be dropping the details in the chat right now. There's still time to share your story and the legacy points and use them to unlock your seat at this exclusive event. So save the date. We'll be sharing more details very, very soon. And we can't wait to welcome you to what promises to be an inspiring and unforgettable session. We'll see you on the 17th. Thank you so much, Mona.
Thank you so much, Jay. So, guys, if you want to learn how to package yourself as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, this is the session. I saw those questions, guys. I saw you asking all those questions. So, this is the session to attend. I hope to see all of you there. All of you, I hope to see you all. So, thank you so much, guys. We are nearing the end of our session. And now that we are here, guys, remember, I want us to tell you what is now your next step. Now that you are here, we have been told about, how to package yourself, get your container, package yourself, be ready to make money. Don't forget that. And I have not forgotten, somebody asked for a screenshot, or rather to get a screen. Let me go back there. Joy, I'm doing this for you. I think it was Joy who asked and somebody else. They asked to take a screenshot of the CTA, and I'm doing this for you. So please do take a screenshot before I tell you what is the next steps. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to take a screenshot. 1, 2, 3. I hope you've taken your screenshot on the CTA. So after this, guys, what is next? So if you are a learner with us, keep going. Keep doing things at your pace. Remember, this is self-paced. The learning is not a race. It is you. Keep moving through your program with a pace that works for you. You are your own competition. Remember that. And for us who are not yet ALX learners, we hope to see you on this other side. And we hope that you can start doing hard things and keep doing hard things. Growth is just outside that comfort zone. Every other thing you do, just outside. Keep pushing. Wherever it goes, keep pushing. So thank you so much, guys, for being with me and for letting me take lead in this session. Until the next one, have a good one, guys. Bye.
Africa. Well, we got another one. You're my motherland. Africa. You got the swag, you got the flow. Africa. Yeah, you know. Africa. Let me hear it from my motherland. Look at my eyes, what you see. No pain or misery, no shame, cause there's no need as long as God looking over me. I climbed every mountain and I damn near swam over every sea. Left no room for doubting, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be me. What I do, I be okay. Do what I do, I be okay. Even without a crew, you be okay. If you know what I know, you be okay. No matter, we gon' be okay. No matter what, we gon' be great. Raise your flag and just go crazy, cause you'll be okay.
money, I love you for free. Climb up the mountain so I can see the view. Number one, never number two. Africa, no substitute. Till the ground is your roof, not under you. I told no lies, everything my truth. Medina, Padim in the stadiums. Take your time, don't rush. Black, white, yellow, Arabian. In Allah we trust. Whole world on my jams, baby. Yeah, my name from the stands, baby. Score the goal and go hand, baby. I'm your number one fan, baby.
From the east to the west, we go show you love. From the north to the south, you go feel the vibe. Lelo, libe bae, lelo, lelo, libe bae. Africa, you got the rhythm, got the flow. Africa, where pretty women drop it low. Africa, my heart will always be my motherland. You got the swag, you got the flow. Yeah, you know, you know, you know. Let's hear it from my motherland, my motherland.
ديما ديما مغرب عاش عاش مالك 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 ديما ديما مغرب عاش عاش مالك